So if you guys have been following us online, you will know that we have a pet squirrel. That is a real genuine. Did you see that video I posted?
Do you consider this official now because of the
he
home
has a
he's
name.
built?
His name is Herbert. We inadvertently built him like a hangout spot. Like the homeboy was chilling in your plant potter thing.
Yeah, he did. We didn't build him anything. He commandeered. He basically
He pirated.
Yeah, he pirated
This is my...
where my plant died, and he basically said, "Fuck your plant."
He totally told you that. Herbert. His name's Herbert.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I'm sure he'll make another appearance on our social media.
Yeah.
But I'll repost that.
I gotta get some peanuts.
What's up, everybody? Well, I don't want to do. I don't
We don't
want to feed him. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nikki Trent.
This is Manioso.
And you are listening to your favorite 15-minute podcast, Bubble Bath Stories.
Yeah, I actually have had pets in my past.
I find that so hard
believe
to
it or
believe.
not.
I find that so hard to believe.
Yeah, well, the Avila Bros did have a lot of animal stories. We have actually officially, to my recollection, have had at least 3 birds, 2 rabbits, and I think 2 dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the rabbits burrowed. They left. I don't know where they went.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, one of the dogs stayed to a sort of ripe old age, but we had really bad luck with those canaries.
So what happened with the birds?
Well, the first one, my oldest brother, Bert, some of y'all might know him, he was trying to train it, got it out of its cage, and he forgot to turn the fan off. The second one, my other older brother, y'all know Rudy, aka Que Onda, he was trying to clean the cage. The bird got away. The bird came back.
Oh, that's sweet.
The cage fell on top of the bird.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, how heavy was the cage?
It's a canary.
Oh.
Yeah. The third canary just flew away.
I have no
I'm convinced that thing got eaten by something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of good luck. That dog lived to a ripe old age, though.
Well, okay. So now hearing these stories, imagine that your family did not believe in healthcare for dog insurance, whatever, like pet insurance.
I gotta tell you, I was probably in my 30s when I learned that there was even such a thing.
I think it's kind of fairly new. I want to say in the last 10, 15 years.
I didn't know it was its own thing. I always thought like it would coupled in with like homeowners insurance or something. Do you have a pet?
Oh, okay.
Having never owned a home, I also never had to research that part of it.
Not a flex, by the way. We're not flexing.
Yeah.
But, thanks, America.
Yeah.
But I usually make fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like I will get like,
so
usually I am like, that makes no sense. I don't know how you got there. I hate everything that you just said. But what you did just say makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now finding out about that, I stumbled onto this episode on The Daily.
Yes.
It's a New York Times podcast. You can find it on everything, Spotify.
The same
Apple,
places
everything.
you can find us.
Yeah. Anyways, they were actually talking about this rising cost of pet care.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I know, right? I sent it to you. What did you think about it?
The fact that okay, so the expert was saying basically that health care for dogs and cats and your pets has now become as difficult to understand and get as human care.
Yes.
I thought it was big up to the host of the show. It's not the regular host. I forgot her name.
It was a special.
It was a special guest host.
Yeah.
I love that she pointed out how crazy it was that people were going into debt to prolong lives of animals that tend to have short lives. Because I don't feel like people, it's not normalized to be like, this is kind of crazy for a dog or a cat or a rabbit or whatever kind of household pet you have.
Well, let's dive into that subject, So like the thing is, the first thing that caught my interest on it was how they compare the then versus now as far as like what the costs have actually risen up to. I spoke to a couple friends of mine who have pets. You know, I know some people who have like mini pets and people who have one pet, right?
Yeah.
And when I mentioned this, they didn't even notice until they went back to look, because I figured it was like a thing where people
didn't know where to look for what.
Well, people look at their pets like a part of their family.
Absolutely.
You know, so like you might see the difference in cost for stuff for your family, but you don't think about it.
Right.
Like medicine for your child. You don't think about the cost. You just get it. So when you talk to them about these differences and they look at it, yeah, people do see like a 60-70% increase of what they were looking at.
Shit.
Like
70%.
It's nuts how things have gotten, right?
Would you like at that point cancel insurance for your pet if it went up 70%?
I mean, it's nuts that people have to make that type of decision. But the cost that people are paying in healthcare for their pets, it makes you wonder, like the healthcare like that they have. If they're going into debt.
Oh, you mean the human? You're saying the owners, like what kind of insurance they have.
How good could their own healthcare be that they're going into debt for their pet?
Well, so obviously, you know, animals and humans are not the same.
They're not.
Human insurance, you know, the hospitals are obligated to see you and save your life, even if you don't have insurance. And what they say is with a vet, you literally have to pay up front. Like everything happens very fast. You have to pay up front and you have to pay in full.
Out of pocket.
And even with the insurance, they say you still have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Then you have to file a claim and hope that the claim gets approved to them, maybe gets either the whole amount or some of the amount.
That was like a major thing that they said. The part that you said right now, that it has to get approved.
Yeah.
Not everything does. And then you're stuck with the out-of-pocket expense.
And the other thing about that is that you have to pay whether your dog, animal, or whatever makes it.
You know how much it costs to neuter an animal?
How much?
It's like $100.
Oh, but like you can get that for free. At those little trucks.
At those little trucks,
yeah. Those ASCAP or whatever. I don't know. Anywho's.
Yeah. So anyways, we then started listening to it, and they did start talking about basically how it's changed in the way that they manage these things. Areas too. So it's just like anything right now in corporate America. Yeah. Everything's becoming for profit. It used to be in the sense where your local vet clinic is a doctor running the place, looking for what's best for you for your animal. And now vets are talking about how they're being told and driven by the companies that own their offices. You're not getting enough. You're not selling enough procedures for these animals.
It's become
not getting
very
enough out of them.
Corporate. So it's just like you said, it's like anything, right?
Yeah.
Like people aren't allowed to actually care about what they do. It's all about a bottom line.
Yeah.
I will give you $100. Did you know that the Mars company was a part of pet food?
So I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, so M&M Mars
diversity in their portfolio.
Owns a lot of vet clinics, owns a lot of pet food distribution, owns a lot of things.
A specialty hospital.
Yeah, the candy bar company.
Do you think all the hospitals have like Mars candies in their vending machines?
Well, you know that they have definitely their own way of selling their own merchandise, you know?
Yeah.
There's got to be something set up that way.
Damn. Oh, they're also like somehow own the brand that owns Petco or PetSmart. PetSmart.
Yeah.
So they talk about how these big businesses are scooping up these small clinics, and they're trying to make them, not food chains. No, that's not it. What is it called? Make them franchises. And so, like you said, it becomes a sales tactic.
Yeah.
Like, how do I know that this vet is trying to do his best for my dog versus like just trying to upsell me on a surgery that my dog or cat may or may not need.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. They like I said, they told a lot of cost per client that they're told,
Which so
on an animal, yeah. And
doomed.
These animals have such short lifespans. To put someone into debt for that, it just seems. That was really hard to listen to.
I mean, well, you know what else I was thinking about while we were preparing for this episode? About how overcrowded, and I like, if I'm wrong, I want someone to correct me, how overcrowded the pounds and shelters seem to be.
Yeah, they are, because there's not enough space. There's not enough people adopting. And a lot of these animals are just being left from their owners. These animals are coming from somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Do you think that it's harder to get a dog or a cat from the shelter than it is to get a baby?
That's a good one.
If you know, let us know.
Let us know.
We are both catless and childless.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about this credit card that they mentioned.
Oh, yeah. This delectable.
So they talked about this credit card that they give you an opportunity to apply for, right? And it's always there advertised, like what you're saying about the M&Ms. Yeah. Instead, they got these credit cards that they put right there next to the front desk.
Like when you go to a retail store.
Yeah, when you go to a retail
save
store.
15%.
Basically, they do a 6-month intro period, 0 interest. Whatever it is that you get approved on there to use the card on, most of the people do pay it off. But 80% is all that pay it off on time, right?
I was actually impressed by that number.
It's a 30% interest rate if you don't pay it off in the 6 months.
That is so much.
That is a lot, bro.
And
so
that is so much.
So most of the time, because even the narrator for the episode was even talking when they were talking to people about their pet stories. These animals don't even survive some of the procedures.
Yes.
So you're stuck with that huge debt, and the animal's gone.
You know, but somebody could say, well, what about humans? You still got to pay the bill.
Totally understand.
But they have life insurance. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing, is that these animals at no point are responsible for themselves.
They're not.
The human is paying not only to cover themselves if they can't afford it, because God knows, like, the struggle is real out here.
Yeah.
But now they have to worry about an animal to try and keep alive for as long as possible, because it's treated as a member of their family.
You're absolutely right. The animal makes no decision in it. At the end of the day, what you're saying about the same thing with humans. You put all this debt, but you're right. With the human, it's the human. You know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to know that so much debt is being put in for the animal procedures. Routine checkups range from $50 to $100 for any kind of animal.
That doesn't sound terrible.
More complex procedures can go over hundreds. Spay and neutering, $200 to $500, depending on the age of the animal.
I really thought you could get that for free somewhere. I'm sure.
I guess if that's like the straight up cost of it.
Yeah, I guess if you can't get that.
An injury, like a laceration, broken bone, things like that, it can be any above $1,500.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, but you know what's happening with houses?
Yeah.
In like Florida, where they're not covering because of the flood and all that. You can't get flood insurance. Mm-hmm. So Nationwide terminated 100,000 policies for pet insurance.
So it's not just the homes.
No, because they were saying that in that podcast that we were listening to, that it has gotten so expensive that Nationwide had to cancel 100,000 policies. We have an episode, I believe, where we talked about that. But to know that it's happening in a field, animals, it's something that people choose. Yeah. You would think that there'd be profit in that. Yeah. In that sense, like you're just charging people whatever you want to charge them. Well, why would you stop? Well, it's unfortunate because the vets are the ones who get shitted on, but
Yeah.
they're just trying, like, they talk about how they're struggling the way small businesses struggle and trying to, like, meet all their goals and pay people and do all that. And it has to be a really exhausting day to get yelled at constantly, but in all ends.
Well, you're right, because especially if it's one of the ones that's owned by one of these conglomerates, right? They make really no decisions in any of the way the place is run, but they're the ones who personally get these Yelp reviews and these Google reviews, and it ruins them. They now owe, in the sense, the company that owns them, if they don't get these numbers up.
Yeah.
And it's all based on the fact that people are thinking they're reviewing the doctor when they're not. They're reviewing M&M Mars.
Yep. I mean, well, you know, they were also talking about, listen to this.
Yeah.
Pet dog hotels with views.
Yeah.
Dog spas. They were saying people who spend millions on, like, these dog birthday parties, on outfits. Like, people are pouring money into their pets the way, I guess, parents would love to pour into their kids if the economy was better.
I mean, let's get a little polarized for a second. Let me ask you. What do you think about the people who are like, oh, new puppy, look at this cutie right here. What's your name? And then new baby is like, ew.
Ew.
You know the people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The ones who
Listen, we were talking
animals in regard.
We were talking about this. Okay. I'm an empath. Okay, I get that animals mean a lot to people, all of that jazz stuff. I don't know that I could ever love an animal like that. So for people who make pets their personality and, like, hold animals in a higher regard than human, or say things like, I'd rather hang out with my cat than hang out with other people. And it's like, well, first of all, don't flatter yourself. You think your cat wants to hang out with you? Like, they're just annoying. It's annoying. People who just regard animals before humans is just annoying to me. I can't get around it. I know I'm gonna get eviscerated in the comments. But I do love animals. I don't think that animals should be harmed or anything like that.
I'm the first one to watch the David Attenborough special.
Oh, yeah.
Animals,
like,
you know?
I hate when...
I love that you've been getting this squirrel to come around. You know, I think I'll bird watch all day. I think animals are so interesting.
Yeah, but if you're asking me if I'm going to spend $1,500 or, like, dip into my retirement fund for for an animal, I can't tell you that I am, and that's just, that's just what it is. I don't know how else to explain. I think it's crazy that people are getting second, third jobs to like that seems crazy to me. If you can't afford the animal, you can't afford the animal. Do I think service animals are great? Do I think that animals and having pets could be therapeutic and, like, great for your mental? Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. But if you're also asking me, and during this high inflation life that we are living, if I'm going to decide if I'm going to give myself something versus pay all this money for a pet, the answer is going to be I'm going to choose me.
Here's my Here's my unpopular opinion. I don't know why people choose pets that they know from the beginning that are going to be expensive. And I don't mean high maintenance expensive as in, like, you're going to have to get them a nice pillow.
No. Yeah.
I'm talking about animals that are 100% going to have heart disease. 100% going to have issues with their noses and their crevices. What are the bulldogs?
Yeah, like, they're not supposed to be made. They're freaks of nature.
Yeah. There are so many animals that like dogs, breeds that aren't supposed to be around.
Yeah.
And they are so expensive. Yeah. Because they have nothing but diseases and conditions that need to be tended to. Yep. And I get it. I get the cute part. Yeah. But you are knowingly getting an animal that is going to go through its life suffering. And it's going to cost a lot for it not... like these it just that part doesn't make sense to me. Get a Doberman, get a golden retriever.
Get a
like
goldfish.
there are naturally born small dogs, but to create these, I think that's the wrong part.
One of the quotes in the episode was, because you can, should you? And like, that's another, these dogs can't advocate for themselves. They can't tell you, I'm fucking tired, I want to die. Like, they can't tell you these things.
Yeah, it can't
so
say,
it's like,
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I mean, we want to know what you guys think.
I do too.
We want to know, are you willing to choose paying for your pet versus paying something for you? You know, how do you feel about inflation going up? How do you feel about this pet insurance being almost exactly the same as human insurance in regards to how tough it is to get and how expensive it is?
Definitely. And you know what? Let's end it on a good note.
Okay.
Go ahead and send us your pictures of your pets, and we'll post those because we love your animals out here. Just, if we're walking down the sidewalk, move your dog to the side so that I can walk.
Oh, that's a whole nother episode. Old man Manny's coming out. If you guys want to know what we're up to, or I guess shout at us, literally, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Bubble Bath Stories.
You can find me at Got No Time for This on Instagram.
And you can find me at Nikki Trends on Instagram. If you want to give us a compliment, a complaint, a venting session of some sort, a secret you want to tell us?
Yeah, or tell us your animal story, your pet story.
You can call us on our hotline at 347-878-1144. And if you're looking for some official merchandise, you can head over to our website at bubblebathstories.co. I realized that order was backwards. And that's okay. I'm still proud of myself. That was so seamless.
It was good.
Until next time. Bye.